Hello everyone and welcome to our new episode of Surfing the Elliott Waves, where I will look at some of the most interesting developments for this week. This video has been brought to you by Orbex. I will look at cable, crude oil, DAX, pound Aussie and dollar yen. Now firstly, looking at cable here, as you know, Brexit issues and coronavirus is spreading significantly in Europe, and this could also put some damage here on pound. So looking at the daily charts, just to quick recap here of the wave cycles on higher degree charts. Well, we have rallied here in 3 waves, as you can see, up from March lows, and now we are reversing below this trend line here in impulsive fashion. That is now trying to act as a resistance around 61.8%. So I'm thinking about more weakness here in the next few sessions. Of course, the most important is that you keep an eye on this channel support, okay, of this corrective rise. So we recently reversed down from the upper side of the corrective channel, which is the first and important evidence that this was actually a wave C movement. But the next very important evidence would obviously be the broken trendline support, and wave and daily close, ideally below wave B level, would be very strong indication that bears are back. Okay, so sooner or later I think that this cable will take us down, but as long as this trend line support holds, just be aware that something more complex can still be in the cards, meaning that even if this resistance is retested, this may not change our outlook. I still think that this recovery is corrective, and that sooner or later we will see a weakness here. Not only a cable against the US dollar, there's also potential weakness coming in play here on pound Aussie. What we are seeing here on a daily chart is a 5-wave fall here within this extended wave 3, and then you have a wave 4 that took us back into the area of a former wave 4, close to 38.2%, and also there was this previous swing low that was now trying to act as a resistance. Also notice that wave 4 is very similar compared to distance in wave 2, so everything comes in right at these levels here, around 1.850 up to 1.860. so we are already reversing from there, as you can see here on a 4-hour chart. So maybe this complex corrective recovery is already finished. In fact, this could be seen, this top of latest wave C can be labeled as a ending diagonal, and we reversed very sharply. So in the short term, maybe we get this broken trendline support, and again bears would most likely come in play. Now let's take a look also on crude oil. Now we've been looking for potential weakness in crude oil, and looks like that we are now seeing a drop into a third leg of this corrective setback. The first drop occurred here in September, and then market is now just moved slightly to the upside, but not much. Okay, it was a very slow move. So that was probably due to coronavirus and lockdowns that are spreading in Europe. Market was not very optimistic about this second wave, which was already maybe predicted back in June. So we are stepping in the winter period. The coronavirus may actually spread even more, and I would not be surprised to see these prices come even lower. So I'm looking for this wave C, this corrective drop that can take us maybe even back towards $30 per barrel. But the first support that we should keep an eye is already at the 34.60 area. It was the former wave 4, so that's the area where you will typically see the higher degree correction will come to an end. Now looking at the 4-hour chart, ideally we are already here seeing wave C in progress towards lower prices after this corrective recovery. We've been looking for this type of a price action and potential reversal for some time, and it looks like that now we are in a full swing. Even if we just stay sideways here consolidating, I still think that would be just a pause and a sideways chop before we get this final drop into wave C. Now let's take a look also on German DAX. Now DAX is coming to the downside in line with stocks, with the US stocks, but US stocks did not see any aggressive sell-off, while German DAX took out this support here. So we will see how this unfolds, but we have to respect that the previous recovery here up from March was actually very aggressive and can be counted in 5 waves, and now you have the counter trend normal reaction in 3 waves. So the first support is here, the second support is still 500 points away, but generally speaking, if we get an impulsive reversal from one of those levels, then obviously we will have a confirmation that bulls are back. Also, I'm looking at another wave count which is slightly different, but also the bullish one. It shows that this is actually a wave 4 pullback now at the support, at one of the supports of the previous fourth wave consolidation here. So again, very important zone for this pullback maybe to complete. But the important is that you wait on a confirming price action. I firstly thought last week, or last week, that we actually completed a triangle here, a big consolidation that I was tracking, but it looks like that I was wrong here, and now we are back at the low. So definitely I want to see 5-wave rise back and close to this bullish level to make sure that low has been put in place down here. Okay, if not, okay, then maybe we just have to respect that market is headed towards this second support. Now let's take a look also on the 10-year US notes in connection with the dollar yen. Now the 10-year US notes here is very choppy, very unclear price action, but when looking here at the daily chart, you can actually here see that we are clearly in uptrend. So I will try to stay with this wave count, especially always when you have a drop from the highs in 3 waves. So I'm looking for prices to reverse and to trace back to these highs that we have seen back in March, before this whole cycle can come to an end. And looking at the 4-hour chart here, I think that we have seen a very nice pullback here on this time frame. It can be counted as a 3-wave movement, also with a wedge pattern here in wave C. As you know, this is a very strong reversal pattern, and it looks like that it's an ending diagonal. So I would not be surprised to see more upside here, and this obviously could lead to more risk off. That's why we have to be careful with the German DAX. Even S&P 500 could come a little bit lower as well, or at least they can stay in very strong sideways consolidation here. But what I want to bring on here is actually the dollar yen. If the 10-year US notes here are going to see more upside, it means that Japanese yen will actually probably strengthen. And here at the bottom I have dollar yen, but it's inverted. Okay, so we know that when the 10-year US notes will rise, yields will come down, and this means that dollar yen will also come to the downside. Okay, so looking at the dollar yen wave structure in connection with this 10-year US notes, if this one is going to see more upside, well, then dollar yen can see more weakness here. So looking at the dollar yen here on a daily chart, firstly we have downtrend here, okay, which is very choppy, very unclear, but still we have lower lows and we have lower swing highs. So for now I think it's better to stick with this bearish view and expect more weakness until we see a 5-wave rise from the lows. So what I'm looking at the moment here is that maybe dollar yen here is making a triangle. That's an ABCDE pattern with the wave E now unfolding, and this obviously makes sense, meaning more weakness here for a final push into wave C, at the same time when actually the 10-year US notes could rise, or if you want, yields could come to the downside. So I will definitely keep an eye on this pair. I think it has a very nice potential for shorts here, but I would really love to see this wave E coming a little bit higher before we can finally call end of this triangle. Of course, sometimes waves D and E will be very slow. Maybe we could label it like that as well, but in such case risk is a little bit bigger, so I definitely want to sell if I want to be short at higher, better prices. Okay, traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and again I will talk to you for Orbex in upcoming week. Bye.